What's up, y'all? I hope everyone had an amazing week, and welcome to the Jackie Journals. I'm your host, Jackie, and not only will I be chatting away about my life and what's going on in it, but I'm going to be doing my best to have a special guest every week and do fun challenges and talk about fun stuff, you know. With that being said, I wanted to jump in straight to the introduction of my special guest and the first one ever. Hey, guys! Alright, introduce yourself.
I'm Jackie's cousin, Sydney, and yeah.
That's it? No occupation?
I'm a student.
She's 14, guys. Okay.
16 if you're hot.
I don't be giving no fucks.
Today we are going to be discussing some of our funniest family moments. We come from a very close, tight-knit family, and we are always hanging out with each other, which means that there is always something funny or crazy going on.
Yes.
So we thought, what better way to start off the grand launch of my podcast than by telling you some of our favorite moments. Okay, so not last January, but January of, I guess that's 2022. My entire family had COVID all at once. We were quarantined for probably over a month because it was still at the time where you got 2 weeks of quarantine when someone got COVID. So my sister got it, and then my mom got it a week after, and then my dad, and then me. So we were in the house for a very long time. Sydney's parents are jokesters. They like to play pranks. They like to do funny things. So my aunt decided to gift my dad lingerie.
Oh my god, yes! So basically, backstory. So my mom, at the place she worked, she's like a manager for apartments, and if someone doesn't pick up their package in time, they have to take it. And so she opened it, and it's just like a whole bunch of...
You can't say that.
Okay. Yeah, it was a bunch of lingerie. And we didn't have COVID at the time, so it was my family and then our Aunt Courtney's family, and we were all at dinner, and then she shows everyone, and so we all thought of the idea to go gift it to them. So we are going through, and we're at my house picking out the best pieces. And then we gift it.
They rang the doorbell, and so my dad went out there, and it was just a little gift bag full of tissue paper, just a little present. Mm-hmm. And so he brings it to the kitchen counter, and I think Libby and I already knew what it was. I think someone told us what it was, so we were recording. So
yeah,
I have videos. I'll have to insert videos of him opening it, but my parents are very modest and shy and just did not know what to say when they opened these. My dad was his face was all red. My mom was so embarrassed, just looking at it. Was so funny.
One of the gifts, it was nipple patches, but there's danglies hanging off of it.
It had the
so
little
funny.
Tassels.
Yeah. That was hilarious.
I probably have a video of Dad holding up the tassels what the hell?
I remember.
Which brings us right into our next story. One time, my mom and I were home alone. My dad and my sister had gone to my grandparents' house to make my Christmas present. The doorbell rang, and a couple knocks, and so we both walked out into our hallway, and there's a little balcony in there that you can see onto the front porch from. And so I look over the railing, and I was like, Mom, it's cat food. There's a big ass bag of cat food on our front porch. And she was like, what do you mean it's cat food? And I was like, Mom, I know what happens when this happens. I was like, we're gonna open the door and someone's gonna take us. This is what they do.
Too much criminal minds.
They put something crazy on your front porch, so when you open the door, they can snatch you. Needless to say, the two most paranoid people in the family were home alone at the same time. So we just spiraled immediately. We were both locked in my parents' room with pretty much nothing but a pocket knife. I was like, I have my knife. I'll defend us the best I can, Mommy. you know. And so she's frantically texting my dad and my sister, you know, you need to come home right now. Someone's at the house. Someone's trying to break in. And this was before we had cameras, so we really had no idea. Of course, my brat of a little sister is responding to my mom's I'm so scared text with, if you were really so scared, you wouldn't be sending so much emojis, Mom. So before my dad and sister got home, we heard another knock, another, like, the doorbell rang again. So I think like 30 minutes had passed in between the first knock and the second time. So we were freaking out. We're like, they're still here. Dad gets home, scans the perimeter, everything's clear. He comes inside, and he's like, all right, guys, you can come out now, everything's safe. And we walk out into the hallway, and he's like, there's no cat food on the front porch. What do you mean there's no cat food on the front porch? And so at this point, we're confirming our previous theory, someone was trying to kidnap us, and they realized that we weren't going to come outside, and so they came and took the cat food back. Now, the other point of view of this story.
Okay, so basically, my point of view was, again, with my mom's apartment job, nobody got the cat food, so she took it in. She didn't know that their cat, like, had a specific food, so she was like, we'll just give it to them. But instead of giving it to them, we wanted to prank them, so we do a little ding-dong ditch moment. So I run, put the cat food on the door, and then knock, and I'm like sprinting to my mom's car.
She had parked down the street too.
Yeah, the house is right here. She parked right here. So I'm like sprinting as fast as I can. There's a deer in the yard of their neighbor's house. I freaking jumped the deer, like, call me a dog, what? So I get in the car, and we're sitting there waiting for them to open the door. Never happens. And I'm like, well, Libby's at Grandma's house, so maybe they're not home. I went, knocked on the door again, rang the doorbell a couple times.
I think didn't y'all go to CVS or something in between or something?
Yeah.
Like, y'all literally left for that 30 minutes
We
before
had to
the
go pick
second
up
knock.
medicine or something. On the way back, it was still there. So we, like, parked to, like, their house is right here, and it's, like, a little road, and, like, a blind spot right here. So we park right there. I go run, knock on the door again, ring the doorbell, and then, again, sprint. And I'm just sitting there watching. Nobody ever goes, but I saw them at the top of the steps, like, peeking their head out. And I was like, Mom, they're right there, they're right there. Never goes to get the food. So I'm like, what are they doing? Like, what is happening right now? So we're like, all right, we'll just drive back. So we go back home. Then I get a phone call from Libby, and she's like, did y'all leave y'all's cat food on the doorstep? What are you talking about?
And we hear my aunt and Sydney just, like, lose it on the other end of the line
It
because
was so funny.
Libby came in the room and she's like, I think I know who's behind this. And it was them. But that was terrifying. That was probably one of the most terrifying 30 minutes of my mom and I's lives. Like, we thought we were gonna die. We thought we were about to get the house broken into and kidnapped, and my dad was not home to save us. So that happened. That's probably the funniest story, honestly. My aunt tells everyone she knows this story. If you know my aunt, you've probably heard her tell this story 30 times. She thinks it's the funniest thing to this day.
We
And that
hang
was like
out
2
every
years ago.
weekend, and about every other weekend, this story gets brought up again.
It never gets old.
No.
You can tell this one, because this one's not really, I wasn't really involved in this. I didn't start this, so I'm a good kid.
So basically, I have a little brother, and when this happened, it was
2 years ago, probably.
yeah, like 2 years ago. So he's like
Or almost 2 years ago.
4, maybe. My grandma lives on this like private road, and we drove the golf cart to Tink and Robbie's, and they have like a creek behind their house, so we always go fishing in. And then there's like a little swing that we swing on. So we were down at the creek, and their house is like right across from a church. So the bells kept going off. We thought, me, Libby, and Brayden, which is both of my cousins, thought it would be hilarious if we said it was nuns coming. So it'd be like, oh my god, Kev, get down, like, the nuns are coming, get down, hide your face, go, hide. But my
Pitiful. Absolutely. He's 4.
so my little brother would be bawling, trying to hide from the nuns. I took so many videos. It was actually hilarious. One time, we were on, there's like this little like island thingy of rocks, and then like a little strip of water with the swing over it. Like,
Isn't there like, there's one area where like, there's only a log, like a tree fell over or something,
and that's
to
how we
get across the water.
So Kev said, screw the tree, Bro runs through the water to try to run to the four-wheeler. He's like, come on, guys, we need to go. And we're like, no, Kev, get down. So he's, like, hiding.
He has his face, like, in the dirt. This is the woods. This boy is curled up into a ball with his face, like, pressed to the ground, like, thinking he's about to die, thinking he's about to get kidnapped by these scary nuns that don't exist.
So this goes on for about, like, a month. And then he finally told my dad, and we got in trouble. But it was so funny. I had, like, me dying on the ground, like, crying. That was hilarious.
It was. Poor Kev. Kev goes through a lot with us. He really does. One time, it was me, Sydney, Libby, and Kev home alone.
We were
babysitting Kev. Or
the parents went out to dinner.
We were, like, messing around in the living room, you know, just, like, he's a little kid. We were, like, playing with him. I don't know what he did. He hit his nose, like, on the couch or, like, on the pillow or something and just started gushing blood. Terrible nosebleed. He's still probably around the same age at this point, too, like, 4-ish.
Yeah.
Really young. And so we're like, oh, shit. And we have to deal with this nosebleed. He's freaking out. We're freaking out. We're laughing at him, too.
Yeah, I'm videoing. So he's, like, in the bathroom. Libby's, like, laughing but, like, trying to plug his nose. He's, like, over the toilet, bawling his eyes. Then all of a sudden, his tears turn into blood.
He starts crying tears.
Blood.
And so we're like, oh my god, he's crying blood. And then he just loses it.
He's crying, so, like, his mouth was open and blood. And I'm like, he's bleeding out his mouth. What do we do? Call our parents. Kev is, like, scared to death at this point. We have videos of that, too. It was hilarious.
Kev is scared to death at this point. I'll insert clips of that, too, so you can really get the gist. But it was pretty bad. We've, like, pranked him before, too. One time, I think Libby pretended she was using the bathroom and had, like, Nutella on her hand. Told Kev to bring her toilet paper. This was at y'all's house. Basically, when Kev, like, went to hand her the toilet paper, she, like, rubbed Nutella on his hand.
Starts bawling. He's like,
he's, like, crying, gagging, like, just all of the above. Still 4 at this time, probably. He's got a lot of, like, young age trauma from us, probably.
He's, like, over the sink telling us to wash it off, and we're like, ew, no! Go, Kev, get away from us!
Yeah.
And he's, like, chasing us around the house with his hand, trying to get us to wipe it off.
Yeah.
So we're screaming, and he's screaming and crying, and Libby's dying.
I think eventually he, like, got a whiff of it and was like, is this chocolate? He found out eventually, but that did go on for a little bit. So this was a long time ago. I don't even remember how old I was at this point. Berkeley was still walking around with a pacifier and her baby blanket at this point. We were all getting ready to go down to the beach.
Like, Dad's outside packing the truck up.
all the parents are outside packing the vehicles.
Me and Jackie were on duty to babysit. So we were, like, just playing, like, running around the house. And then we run upstairs and we're running back downstairs. She's, like, behind us chasing us.
And she's holding her baby blanket, of course, because, you know, like, she's a baby.
She's probably, like, 2.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. She wasn't that old at all. She went to like, run down the stairs and stepped on her baby blanket and completely just fell forward and, like, hit the stairs, knocked her 2 front teeth out.
Face down, sliding down the stairs.
Yeah.
I'm
Luckily,
like, Jackie, grab her.
Luckily, I was, like, right in front of her when it happened, and I grabbed her by her shirt right as it happened.
Yanked her up.
So she didn't, like, tumble down the stairs, but she did knock her teeth out right before we were about to leave.
But we didn't know at first because I was like, there's blood. And I was like, Jackie, her tooth. And she's like, no, that's not her tooth. And we pick it up. We're like, it's her tooth. And her other tooth is still in her mouth. It's like barely in her mouth.
Yeah.
My dad and Uncle Jeremy rush her to the dentist, and he's like, yeah, like, she's just gonna not have any teeth.
Poor Berkeley didn't have 2 front teeth for
years.
Yeah. A good while after that, she did not have 2 front teeth. No worries, Jackie saved the day, and she didn't break her neck, so I guess a win is a win.
A win is a win.
Speaking of Berkeley is a TikToker. Through and through.
She is a bad bleep.
She eats, sleeps, breathes TikTok. She's always making them.
She would take my mom's phone and, like, learn little dances, and she would post them. And she, like, is young, so, like, she doesn't know what they mean, or didn't know. And so it'd be, like, the most like inappropriate song, and she's just like like doing it, and then
she would use all the filters.
That was bad.
I wonder if I still have one where she's using a bunch of those. Berkeley has a lot of personality. She has the biggest personality of anyone I've ever met. For someone so young, she is just full of energy, so much spark. It's insane. She never stops. Like, just constant energy. But she is a menace. That girl will let you have it. One time she posted a TikTok pretending to be arguing with someone.
Oh my god. She's on this side and she's like,
well, you're an ugly...
Right.
Yeah, like she's
and then on this side she's like, well, you have freckles.
She's just staging this fake argument. What did she say? Oh. Shut up, Sabrina.
Shut up, Sabrina.
Yes.
And
that's
we will
what it was.
never ever stop quoting that.
It will just be like,
Shut up, Sabrina.
You need to tell them about the Whitakers. Are you for real right now?
Yeah.
Our family from West Virginia.
This comes back to Kev. My uncle, I don't know where he finds it, but he came across this guy that records this family in West Virginia.
An inbred family.
Yeah. He had the videos from their YouTube thrown up onto the TV one day, and Kev comes in.
It was some guy on the ground, and he like doesn't talk. He's like, yeah.
The one guy only barks.
What's his name?
Ray. His name
yes,
is Ray. Anyways, he only barks. He's like, is that Aiden? That's our cousin, by the way. So, of course, that's just funny as hell in general. So Uncle Kevin just runs with that. And he's like, yeah, Kev, like, those are your cousins. We're gonna go stay with them for a week, you know? Like, we're gonna leave you there with them. You're gonna go stay with them. Kev's like, hell nah. Like, that boy's
Kev's
face...
like scared at this point.
Yeah,
like,
at this point,
no,
Kev's
I
just...
don't want to go see them.
Poor Kev. He's always the target. He's just an easy target. Like, he's easy to mess with. He's little. He tells people now.
Like, to this day. Like,
that they're our cousins. That's not okay because they're literally...
2 months ago or something, I had all my friends over. I'm like, OMG, Dad, like, do they know about our family from West Virginia? They were like, what family from West Virginia? I was like, just pull up their YouTube channel. And so he throws it to the screen. Uncle Jeremy and Aunt Amanda obviously are going along. And we're like, oh yeah, that's where I used to sleep when I went over there. They're like, oh, the Hunting Lands, it's so good. Like, we all need to take a trip down there for spring break. And we're all like, OMG, yes, that'll be so much fun. Marley, like, we've already, like, been through that with her. But Jillian and Aniston didn't know at all. And they're, like, scared. They're like, no way this is happening right now. Aniston, like, really doesn't know what's happening. But Jillian, like, got the hint that we were joking. Libby is dating Aniston's brother. So Aniston's, like, texting Ashton, like,
God bless her.
bro, you need to break up with Libby. Like, she has some weird family, and she says that we're all gonna go visit them. I don't want to go visit them. Eventually, we tell them it's a joke, but it was so funny watching her face.
She really did think that they were related to us.
Shout out to the Whitaker family. Go watch them.
They are funny as hell. I will give them that. So one time, we had one of our cousins from up north. I don't know where exactly. I don't know if they're Maine or, like, Vermont or something. I don't know.
Well, they're having their wedding in England, so, like, you can only imagine, like, they are some city, and we're, like, the most country family, so you can only imagine how we showed up.
They were staying with my great-grandma. My grandma was like, we need to make this as southern as possible. You know, I'm gonna get them chicken and a biscuit. I think she got them, like, a dictionary with southern slang. They just were, like, kind of making it a little bit more extra than it actually is. Like, we're not just, like, out here being hicks. We were just like, oh my gosh, Grandma and Gigi, they're being so, you know, they want to make it super country. Dad was like, I'll show him country. My dad pulls up in nothing but overalls. Boots.
No shirt.
They were Carhartt overalls. No shirt. Hat, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And he baked a cornbread in a skillet. So
I showed up looking like Rapunzel country version.
Yeah, it was like the frying pan from Rapunzel, like a little cast iron skillet. You know, we pull up, and our cousin's fiance that she had brought with her, like, to meet our family was literally in, like, a sweater vest. They're very northern. So my dad walks up, and this poor guy is like, what the hell? Like, who is this?
Like, what was he wearing? He had, like, skinny jeans on, and
you could tell that he was from the north.
Gelled back.
Yeah. He actually asked my dad for, like, a picture. They took a picture together. Like, he was so blown away by this southern man. He was like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And her dad, the interior of his truck, his seat covers are camouflage.
In his hunting truck.
And so he took pictures, like, sitting in my uncle's truck.
And then they got on the tailgate.
Yeah.
They all had their little beer.
Yeah.
And took so many pictures on the tailgate.
It was so funny. It was. And Grandma really did gift him chicken and a biscuit and the country slang. That was funny.
We have, like, so many funny stories, but, like, it'd be better if it was, like, a reality TV show.
It would be funny, but I feel like we would get canceled really fast.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Nothing too bad, just...
Should we tell them about... Were you there?
No. I don't want to expose it.
Yeah.
Basically, the moral of that story is my little sister tried to square up with an old man. Like, a grown-ass man.
Like,
he said
6'5",
yeah.
built.
Yeah. And Libby's, like, 5'2", 90 pounds.
Trying to fight this big-ass man.
Yeah. He said something that she didn't like to her, so...
he was mad, to
So
say
she pretty much just clapped back at this guy. That was a time. That's not the first time she's done something like that. I'm away at school. I get a lot of FaceTimes from my mom with my sister in the frame. You want to tell her what she did? She's always starting drama. We'll say that. I get a lot of those phone calls. Alright guys, I think that's all we got for you today. I hope that y'all enjoyed that and that you think my family is as funny as we do. Hopefully, y'all will tune in next week. Hopefully I will have something just as good to talk about. But... bye, bitches! Bye!
Alright, about to pee my pants now.
So bright. That's better. No, stay down there. Hi! My roommates are all... It's currently Monday, December 4th. I woke up at 8 a.m., took a 100 question exam. That was hell. Never want to do that again. If you're listening to this, you've made it to the end of my podcast episode, the first one. So exciting. I am so excited, and I am so happy that I have such supportive friends that are, like, listening to this right now. It's also cool. Hopefully I will see some of y'all next week. Bye!